So this is just going to be a really quick update video on how to fix bad email deliverability in 2026. And this is specifically for cold email. So this isn't for like e-commerce email marketing. This is for cold email. This video also assumes that you've already got like the basics down. So like your DKIM, your DMARC records, all of that is set up correctly in your domains. And I can make like a beginner video on that, but this is kind of more of the higher level stuff. So one of the main things we've been seeing in 2025 and moving into 2026 is you really want to be focusing on reply rate as your main metric for whether you're landing in spam or not. So if when you first launched your campaigns, you were hitting 2% reply rates or 5% reply rates, and without changing anything over time, you're now below 1%, then it is likely whichever inboxes or domains are hitting below 1% are probably landing in spam. And basically, we found that to be the most accurate metric because you'll sometimes use these like deliverability toolkits and they'll say that you're not landing in spam. But if you're hitting below 1% and before you were not hitting below 1%, then you almost 100% are landing in spam. So number two is keep more sending capacity than you actually need. And this is one thing that we've started doing recently that we didn't do before. So basically, if you have 10 domains and 30 inboxes, with each inbox being able to send roughly 20 emails a day, then you have a total sending capacity of 600 emails a day in total. So we have now switched to actually buying more inboxes than we need. So if we know we want to send 600 a day, we'll aim to have at least 800 a day, but probably more towards 1,000 a day in capacity. And that extra capacity of inboxes and domains just sits in the warm up stage, not sending any cold emails, just there so that we can kind of switch it in whenever we need to. And this is good because if any of your inboxes start landing in spam, you don't have to mess around trying to fix things or buy new inboxes and wait 2 weeks for them to warm up. You just instantly switch your new one, your backup inboxes in, and you're back to 100% deliverability. Number three is don't try to heal domains or inboxes, just switch them out. This is another big change we've been making, which before we would kind of mess around with these like deliverability toolkits, and we'd also just like look in the records of the domain, maybe put it back into warm up and try and fix it. But realistically, as soon as it's hitting below 1% reply rate, don't waste your time trying to figure out what the issue is. Literally just switch it out for some fresh inboxes, put it back into warm up, and leave it for 2 weeks or so. Number four is use a mixture of Outlook and Gmail inboxes. So before we were more just focused on just using Gmail, whereas now diversifying your infrastructure is becoming way more important. The reason being is because a recent Gmail update, like a couple of weeks ago, actually killed some people's entire infrastructure overnight. And so all of their clients, or if they're doing email for their own business, like all of that just stopped and they had to wait 2 weeks. So having a mixture of like different providers, different vendors, just a mixture of all of it actually does help a lot, because if one gets destroyed, then you've still got multiple different ways to actually replace it. And then the last one is just Outlook inboxes are a lot harder to land in than Gmail inboxes. And this is for Outlook and Proofpoint. We've seen recently that they made some updates. I think it was mainly in the US, to their spam filters, which made them way more strict. So you now have to be tactical to actually land in these types of inboxes. And the main contributors we've seen to landing in Outlook is your domain age. So if you buy like a fresh domain of tryexampledomain.com, then warming it up for at least 6 to 8 weeks, we've seen that like when the domain is actually that old, your chances of landing an Outlook go way up. Whereas if you just start sending straight away after the 2 week warm up period with one of these new domains, then it is pretty tricky to land in there. You could also go down the route of buying like aged domains, but the issue is they're actually quite expensive, and they probably won't be branded with like your branding, so like your actual company name. But you could go down that route if you wanted to start sending to Outlook from day one. We've also seen that sending short emails, so literally like one sentence, has also increased your chances of landing in Outlook inboxes. So that's useful as well. But basically, what we'd recommend is you split your lists into Gmail and then everything else. Um, or like you just split Outlook and Proofpoint out of your list. And for the first 6 to 8 weeks, you just send to Gmail, because you know that after your 2 week warm up period, you're going to be getting good deliverability there. And then once your domains are aged, you can put in the Outlook list and kind of change up your copy a little bit so that it's shorter, and then start sending to them as well. We've seen that work quite well. So this is just like a really quick update video, just some of the things we've been seeing in deliverability that are probably going to carry on into 2026. If you think this sounds like very complicated, I don't want to handle this, we just want to focus on our business. If you're a B2B business over $1 million a year, then you can book a call with the link below. We can see if it'd be a good fit for you. We do all kinds of go to market and B2B marketing services with a high focus on cold email. So, yeah, you can book a call, we can have a quick chat, and we can see if you'd be a fit. But other than that, check out the other YouTube videos on our channel, and thanks for watching.